Okay, so Groovy is syntactically very close to Java. It is open source, and like it, you do not need a separate compiler for it. Like every other language, like Java and all, you need a interpreter and compiler. Here, you can directly execute any Groovy script in your system or through. So what has been done for the SoapUI is SoapUI internally keeps the necessary compiler for executing the Groovy script. So whenever you create and basically create a script and execute it, it can directly give you output. You do not need a separate editor for it. Okay. So sometime what happens is when the your project is too huge. So because you if you open the SoapUI has this kind of editor, okay, which you will not give the, I mean, autocomplete option, like you get the methods automatically. That option is not there. So what people do is sometimes we can install the Groovy library in Eclipse. You know Eclipse, right? Sometime what we do is if your project is too big, normally like when you create a script, it will be a complete setup project, different classes. So we can also use the Eclipse tool. Okay, so Eclipse has a plugin for executing the Groovy script. I'll show you that later. But just to know that, like sometime what will be doing might be you can ask your friend. Sometimes people use the Eclipse and they create the project, then they implement copy paste the same project in the SoapUI tool and execute it. Okay, so yeah, that is there. These are the advantages. So language level support, it has everything, like it has the list, map, regular expression. So whatever the feature we have it in Java, it is there. So that is the reason, like it is a very comfortable language to support all kind of feature, basically, which is available in any object-oriented language. That is why Groovy is chosen, and moreover, it is very lightweight. It can run very fast compared to any other programming language. It's almost like run in the same speed as like Python. Okay, so that is the reason they have chosen the Groovy script. So how we basically, right, how we can create a SOAP project. Basically, see, this is you can take an URL from the SoapUI documentation page. This is like something is called weather service. Okay, we'll create a basically new project. What we are using is here is if you go to the SoapUI documentation site, so there they have given two sample web service. Basically, one is called the weather forecast web service, another is called the currency converter. So we will use both of them for our discussion of the initial concept, and then we'll go to the another actual web service for the project.
Yeah.
Okay. So so I hope you know like how we create the project. So we go to the SoapUI tool, go to SOAP and give the URL. That's how your web service will be displayed. So here I have just imported the weather service. Okay, weather WS is the weather service, and it has basically two requests. Like within the request, these are the separate request response. One is get city forecast by zip, get city weather by zip code, and get weather information. So that is that we'll come to that slowly. But what we have done is here is like we have basically created a new test suite. So this is within the basically SoapUI project, we will be creating the test suite. So I can create one more. Okay. So say new test suite. Say maybe uh, Groovy class, I can say Groovy class. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and so this is my test suite created here. Okay. So it's, let me minimize this. Okay, so this is the Groovy class. Within the Groovy class, what I need to do is that, so I need to add a test case. Okay,
Yes.
so test case, okay, so maybe I can name class 1. Okay,
Mm.
so this is the test case added within it. Okay, let's come down. Okay, Groovy class and class 1. So within this, I have this test steps, right?
Mm.
So
Mm.
within the test steps, basically I'll be adding the Groovy scripts. Okay, so
Okay.
maybe like I can go to add step, and in the add step you have this thing called Groovy scripting. Okay,
Mm.
so I can add this Groovy script. So maybe I can write uh, my first, or maybe script underscore 1. Okay, so this is the first script. So how we write, basically this is how we'll be adding the Groovy script. So maybe like in what we do in Groovy is that, so you have a basic understanding of this declaring the variable, or declaring the string or integer. You have the concept of this, right? Because we also discuss in the manual testing, like how the variables are added, how the, so in Groovy, what we do is like, if we need to declare anything, like we need to define anything, first of all,
Mm.
then we can write this as definition. Like we have to define something. Say I need to define a value for the integer a, so I can
Mm.
just write def a equals 12. Okay,
Okay.
and if I need to declare a value of a string, I can write the def b equals hello. Okay,
Okay.
and I can then and there test this script in Groovy editor. So I have, so I need, if I need to print something, I can just write log.info, either a or b. So if I say, if I write
Mm.
log.info a and execute it, so I get 12. Okay,
Okay. Got
printed
it.
in this. Okay,
Okay.
even if
Okay.
you execute this, you will get it printed like a
Mm.
equals 12. So this is just a very basic example of the script. So if
Okay.
you change it, say to
B.
b,
It's going to
you
be
get
hello.
it hello. Okay,
Okay.
so okay, more than this, say if I open another script where I have changed a little bit.
Mm.
Say I have defined an integer called a equals 27,
Mm.
and I have a if else statement. So I'm checking
Mm.
like whether a value of a is an odd number or even number.
Mm.
Okay, so I can write like this: a ampersand of 2. If it is a is divisible by 2, then it is an even value. Or if it is basically, to print anything, I use this log.info
Okay.
and then write it in the double quote. So I
Mm.
will give you the codes, source code later to you in a document format. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Okay. So log.info, and then else if it is an odd value. So I can check if 27 is even number and odd number. So this
Mm.
is just another. So it can say it is an odd number. So if I
Okay.
change it, say 28,
Mm.
I can say it's an even number.
Missionary.
Okay.
Oh. Mm.
So these are I mean very basic if else statement. Basically these are I'm basically the building block of Groovy script, because
Mm.
ultimately in the final script we'll be using a lot of concept like this. Okay.
Okay. Mm.
So take another Groovy script where basically I have defined an concept of array. So you know what is an array.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So because these are the very basic concepts, and these are mostly similar to take any programming language or any software, so this concept will be there, right? So I can define an array and I can print the array. Also, like if I need to change, assign any value to a particular position of array, I can do that. So here you can see like I have printed the array 1. So let's not print this. Okay. So I'm printing the array 1. So let's see what it is printing. Okay. So you can see that so array's position starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So I'm printing the value of array with this position 1. Okay, so it is printing 56. Suppose if I change this to say 3, so it prints a 12. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, like that. So I can use this string array. So like this, we'll be discussing several basics of Groovy scripting, and finally, what we can do, we can basically yeah, on a little bit of advanced side. So you see, most of the cases, what your Groovy scripting you have to do is that you have heard of the data-driven test, right? In your it's a testing concept. You heard of it? A data-driven step. Like you will not be defining your testing. I mean the values of your test cases. You hard-coded in your code. Nobody does this hard-coded. So you'll be reading it from an external file. Okay. So Groovy is mainly used for hugely for for this kind of data-driven test. You will be having your file in an text file or Excel file, and you will read the values through the Groovy script.
Okay.
So and then you will be applying those values in your test automation test cases. Okay. For executing several test cases. Okay, so let's see an example like that. So here, okay, maybe like okay, not this one. So, okay. So maybe like the concept I can tell you later because we have to go step by step in the conceptual side. But here what I've basically tried to do is that I'm trying to read the value from this file data11.txt, and I have placed it in some of the folder. Let's open the file. Okay, so data. Okay. So, okay, so this is the file. So if I open the file, let's see what is in. Okay, so I have just printed, given few countries. So suppose I am testing something. So this is like I have given some country name: India, USA, Germany, Australia, Africa, and China. And I will try to read these values from the Groovy script. Okay. So here I've given the path. I'm using some concepts. So this will come later. File reader, and I'm reading line by line. Okay. So let's clear this part. Sorry. Clear. Okay. So now if I execute this basically, and I'm printing every character what I read this. So this I'm reading this character by character. Okay. So if I basically execute, okay, just a moment to say enable. Okay. So now if I execute this, see what I get is that I get everything character by character. Okay. Right. So it is reading India and then USA. So every line it is printing one character. So it could be that when I am trying to read the numbers, I have to read the numbers of one particular column, so I can read like that. One number, the second number, like that. But nobody reads the string like that. Yeah. So say if I need to change it, then I can read it as one word, every word, one line, one word, and then go to next line, read the next word. So
Yes.
again, if I clear this, and so I've done the same thing. Basically, I'm reading the same file. I'm using file reader, reading line by line, going to the end of the file, and till the end of the file, it will write a loop, and I'm printing that. Okay, so if I execute it, so now you can see. Okay, so this one, so clear. Let's maximize this. Okay, here what I'm trying to do is I am reading the same file and using file reader. I'm using it in a little bit different code I'm using. Here I was reading character by character, and here I am reading by every word. Okay, so I am using this buffered reader. So these are the separate concept. I will come to that later, but see how it prints here is okay. So this is how it will print here: India, US, Germany. So here I am basically reading the
Yes.
word by word. Okay, so these are the actual thing which you will observe in your test cases. Like we use Groovy scripting mainly in SoapUI to do the data-driven testing. They read you data can be in any format, so you should be able to write the script to read any kind of data and use it in your test cases. So that is the
Okay.
main purpose of using the Groovy script. There are several other uses like reading the properties, setting the properties, property values, setting dynamic properties, and then do the XPath validation through Groovy script. We'll come to that, but I'm just showing some examples to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, then this is like if you can read from the text files. Also, like if you have an Excel file, you will be able to basically what we use in the data-driven test is mostly the Excels. So you can also read the Excel file in Groovy script, and basically you can print your the values. You can extract the values from Excel file and use it in your test cases. Here, basically, I have created one example. I have test.xls. This is my Excel. Let's see if the Excel is present somewhere. The test.excel. Okay. So what I'm trying to do here is that I'll show you the Excel later somewhere. The Excel file. I'm not able to find it.
Yeah. Not a
Okay,
problem.
so what I'm trying to do is that basically when you read the value from the Excel file, we need to use some kind of different jar file, and that jar is already present in that is called jxl.jar. That tells us to read any Excel file,
Okay.
Microsoft Excel workbook. So basically that is present within the SOAP UI. So we need to import this library called import JXL and use this. These are separate classes given by this particular library, which to read workbooks and then read the sheet, then read the rows and columns. So I have one Excel called test.xls. Okay, so what I'm doing is here is like I am reading just reading the values from test.xls, and then I'm getting the workbook first, then getting the sheet, and then getting the rows and the columns. And I'm trying to print the row and columns here. So if I just execute this, okay, see the values, because here I'm just printing the values. In an actual scenario, what we'll be doing is you will use these values and use it for testing in the
Yes.
test cases. So that is our purpose.
In the bottom, we'll be getting the responses, right? Like it will run. Like we'll be passing the values in the script. It will get executed, and
Yes.
we'll get the response in the bottom, right?
Yes. You will get the response in the bottom, and you can call these scripts in any other test cases as well. Okay, so this is one script, so you can call this script from your test step. So I'll be showing you all that. This is, I mean, that's little advanced stage of
Yes.
like
Yes. Yes.
when you create an actual project, you can see step by step everything.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I have a kind of a project of like a car manufacturer company. So they have actual web service. It's a huge project, around 23, 22 to 27 steps are there. So I'll be using the Groovy. I will create the Groovy script for that and show it to you. Then it will be very clear to you how basically we extend several examples to the actual project and use it. And even you can collect it, as you said, from your friend. We can discuss that. It's not very difficult to understand, first of all.
Okay.
So we can, if you understand the concept, understand how it has been used, you will be able to write that.
Okay.
As simple as that.
The thing is, like, I don't know all this concept, like the concepts which you're using, like the for I equal to 0, I
No,
less
no,
than
I'll discuss that. I'm not discussing in too detail here. So this is like class by class, we'll be discussing all this.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
just going through like, to show you example like where and which all places we are using, how we are using some examples. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, the script end to end, the script we'll discuss that, we create, we modify the values, we'll test again. So until you are clear, we'll be discussing the script in class by class. So
Okay.
this one class we'll be discussing each of it so that the concept will be clear to you. Because ultimately you need to sit and write the script, right?
Yeah. Yes. The main thing is, like, I'm a bit. I don't have any knowledge on this, like Java and everything. Like, I can get help from you, and if at all, if you want me to go through some concepts, I can take help of my
You
friends
have
and
to go through the concept. I'll give you the material. So, so this is kind of a demo class I'm taking. So that's why, like, I'm just showing you the script. But
Okay.
we'll be starting from concept from the beginning, and we'll go one by one. Okay.
Okay.
So this is like it takes some time to understand
Yeah.
the whole concept.
Like,
Okay.
I have
So maybe
0%
like
knowledge on coding.
no issues on that. You can learn.
Okay.
Okay. It is not a problem. Like mainly you can understand the people comes from the manual testing background to learn the automation. And student I have taken the class so far, they also did not have the knowledge of uh, web service at all, and they are able to write the script. So it is,
That's really great.
uh, yeah. So when you go through the classes, you will understand. You will be able to write new script, and I'll give you some exercises to practice. So
Okay.
that will help you. Don't worry
Okay.
about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for
So just to give an overview, like which all places we are using the script and how the script look like, you execute and you see the output, you read the data from file. I'm just showing you this. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, got
This
it, got
again
it.
we'll be discussing step by step.
Okay, Prabha.
So also like in SoapUI, there are something called setting up there are properties. You can add properties to every step, like to your test suite, test case, test steps. So, I mean, maybe like I will also take little bit of, because I understand you have done only request and response testing. That is
Like,
not everything in SoapUI,
yes,
okay?
yes,
There are
like,
several things.
what do I
So
used
I
to
will,
do?
I will,
I'll tell you, like, what do I used to do? I used to have a web
yeah,
application. I was having a
yeah,
full-fledged knowledge on the application. I used to know,
okay,
like if what values if you pass, like what and all the fields will be enabled on the application, like if
correct,
what, like how much length, what characters it's going to support. Like I was having full-fledged knowledge on the application. So what they used
correct,
to give me, they used to create a project and they used to give me a VHDL URL. I used to import that and I used to get some requests and responses. And for each and everything,
correct,
like for each and every page, they used to have like a
okay,
separate API. Think like submit action, they used to have separate API. So think like we
correct.
have to, like I wasn't into
I got your point. So
yeah.
so what I'm trying to say is that whatever you have done, that's a very basic of SoapUI, okay? So
Yes, yes.
but to do scripting and do end-to-end testing of SoapUI, you also need to understand the other concept of
Yeah, okay.
SoapUI, okay?
Okay.
So that covers more or less if you want to. Okay, let me check if I have the another slide where I have mentioned that. Okay, here. Okay, so more or less, I will be taking you through. Somewhere I have given the agenda. Let's see. Okay, so I don't find. Okay, leave it. But what you need to also learn is from the SOAP UI, request response is first thing. Second thing, you need to learn the validation, how to do the validation of request and response. There are several kind of validation. I'll take that class as well. Okay.
Okay, okay,
In SoapUI. Then you need to understand how to set properties and how to use the properties in SoapUI. Okay.
okay,
Properties are very, very important in SoapUI. Without that, nothing works. Okay. So properties class I have to take how to use properties in SoapUI.
okay.
Then third thing will be validation and properties. Okay, there are some test steps like you can see here. You can if you right click add step, here some steps like you have the delay, you have the properties, property transfer, then
Hmm.
you have the also delays. So something called conditional go to. So you need to learn these as well. Okay, these are the test steps we'll be using because Groovy alone will not help you. You need to use Groovy within the SOAP UI. So you need to learn these different kind of test steps. Few of them, not everything, like delay, properties, property transfer, conditional go to. All these
Hmm.
things I will discuss. Okay,
Okay,
and
okay,
then maybe like we'll discuss together little bit part of Groovy script, one class half Groovy script and half little bit of concept, so that you
okay,
don't. I mean, it's a complete set of thing basically. One doesn't work with another. Okay,
okay,
so so alone like altogether we will need around at least 12 classes. Okay,
okay,
to complete the base other concept of SoapUI as well as the concept of Groovy, and then probably three classes will be discussing. It depends on how what is the pace we are moving on. So all at least 12 classes will need to cover up the entire course.
okay.
Okay, so that is the thing. I think we should. It is better that we go step by step. Okay,
That's
uh, and then give you the materials to read. You come back with questions, and we cover that. Go to the next step. So that's how it will be easier to you, and everything you will understand.
yeah. If you, like, I want everything like step by step. What are you telling is exactly perfect because like I need everything to be start from the beginning because I don't know anything about the coding. Like what and all the
Yes,
loops
yes.
which
I
you are using.
understand that. I
Yeah.
just gave you some idea of the script, okay, how the
Mm.
script looks like, what you
Mm.
get, so data-driven test. So we will discuss when we go proceed from the beginning till the end.
Mm.
So you will understand all this concept and you will be able to create. I will give you some assignment and you can write that. If there is any question, you can come back to me. We'll discuss and proceed. Okay.
Okay, okay, bro.
Okay. And so that is uh, so so how you are comfortable on daily classes or how you want to take it up?
Like I can take it only on the weekends, bro, because like I'll be
You
working
can take
on
it only on the weekend.
why because
Okay. That
I'm doing a part-time job in the evenings. Like I have to.
okay, okay. That's
Mm.
perfectly fine. You can take on weekend. So weekend maybe like we'll take 2 to 2.5 hours of class each
Yeah,
day,
yeah,
like
yeah,
Saturday and Sunday.
yeah. That
Okay,
would be
so
better.
that's how we have to proceed then because 12 classes, what I mention is like if you only take 1 hour class, that won't be sufficient. So at least two
No,
days, five
we
hour
don't.
cards class we have to cover.
You don't even stick to 12 classes. If it all it's getting increased,
No,
please
no, I
come.
mean, I'm just saying like rough estimate like what it takes for another other classes what they have taken. So
Mhm.
that's how I'm telling you. So weekends at least, then 5 hours of classes at least you need 4 weekends, 4 to 5 weekends. Okay.
No, no. What I'm trying to not like 4 hours is a big thing. Like I can't. Because 4 hours
No,
continuously.
what I'm saying is one day 2 hours, Saturday 2 hours, Sunday
Yeah, yeah,
two hours.
that would be good.
So
That would be.
that's how I'll be taking.
Oh, okay, that would be good.
Okay.
And you don't fix
So
the whole classes. Like it might take some
no,
time
no.
for me to get
As,
perfect.
see,
We can
it
extend
is
the classes.
it is perfectly fine. It is good for you that if you take on weekends, you are getting the entire week. If you get some time to practice, get some time to read materials and come back with questions, that's even better,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
Because if you take daily classes, you hardly get time to see what I teach you, and then the next class comes and you things get sometimes you don't get enough time. So
Yes.
if
Yes.
you are taking it on weekends, that you get enough time to look at it at least.
Oh, yes, yes. That's the main thing.
Okay, and you can, if you have any question, you can basically mail me with your question even during the week. I will answer to it and we'll take it up in the class again.
Oh, okay. Thanks, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks.
so I will not, maybe there is not much of use if we don't discuss it step by step. So maybe like you can tell Narendra once you wants to start and we can
Yeah.
take it up like that. Okay?
Sure, sure. I'll let Narendra know
Yeah.
like when we can start. Like I have a
Sure,
couple of
sure.
exams next week. Like as soon as we get completed, we can start for it.
Sure, no issues.
Okay, thanks,
Okay?
bro. Thanks, bro. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
Narendra.
you.
Thanks,
Thanks.
thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.